Yeah, it's great to be at FOSDEM, and FOSDEM is a really cool event. And actually, so I'm also an event organizer. I'm running, for example, the Open Tech Summit in Germany, in Berlin every year. And I've also lived for many years in Asia, and I'm still like at least half of my time during the year in Asia, and we started the FOSS Asia community. So that was a goal that we had with Eventyay. We wanted to have an event system that we can use ourselves. So yeah, so here you see, for example, the community. It's pretty big. We have some events, more than 3,000 people who participate, and we wanted like an event system that is completely open, of course. And yeah, so what's the status today? We have a lot of members in the community, and among like different projects that we have, the Open Event Server, for example, is our lead projects with 1,600 stars. So it means like people follow it and check out what's going on, and many also contribute. So we're really happy about that. But what's the story behind it? So the story is that we started 2009 with our first events, and it was like basically get people together, have some fun. We were in Asia, and we felt a little bit left out, yeah, because we didn't have a FOSDEM in the region. There are many smaller events, but we didn't have this spirit. So we started to make an event, and yeah, what do? You need ticketing, you need to plan. Like sometimes we have catering and this and that, right? And so what we did is we used systems like Eventbrite, for example, or we used Meetup. And then there were a few systems, for example, that also here, Pentabath or Frap, used by the CCC in Germany. So systems like that, but they were mainly for the speakers, let's say. And they weren't always in technologies that we were familiar with. So this was the idea. Let's make a system, not just for ticketing though, also for speaker handling, and yeah, larger events up to 3,000 people. And what were the requirements? Free and open source. Technology stack that matches our team and community. So something that we can handle ourselves, where we don't have to ask somebody else. And we want to keep privacy in mind. So we don't always want to upload all our data to some proprietary services like that. Another thing is, while we were developing it and while we were studying it, we also saw other people had similar ideas. They also wanted an event system, but maybe they had a different focus and so on. So an idea that we also always follow is open standards. For example, if you export an event or something like that, we want other people to be able to use our data in their system, or we use their data in one of our components. And that also means open APIs. And all this, of course. So we are here at FOSDEM, and I think I don't need to go more into detail there. So what were our goals in regards to the features? We thought we don't have to make a completely different experience to what people know. People know Eventbrite, they know other systems, so we can follow this approach, have the same process in regards for ticketing, for example. Then the call for speakers. So I worked also like a while with some people at Mozilla, and I know they also run events with 1,000 people, and a lot of these events are still managed by spreadsheets. Yeah, so this was also something that we wanted to get away. We had also like a lot of spreadsheets, and then we started at one point to get out like some data through like Google Docs using JSON and so on. We wanted to get away from this, have an easy process where every speaker can update their own session and so on easily. At FOSDEM it's possible today, but it wasn't always possible in the past. And an important thing to save us time as organizers, drag and drop scheduling. Yeah. Exporting, of course, I already mentioned that, and a thing that we realized after a few years, I love Drupal, I love Django, I love all these systems, but if you have to maintain an old system just for the sake of maintaining it, it could be really a pain. So we want like a website that's generated and that we can just host on an FTP server, or today on GitHub Pages or GitLab Pages, something like that. And of course, like when you have everything, like people use a mobile phone, so Android is a big topic, things like that. Plus features content-wise, these proprietary systems, they don't have the possibility to license your content freely, to say, okay, the content that you have make it free. They don't have always the possibility to enter a code of conduct. It's very important in the US, for example. So these kind of things, they're here. So we started the development, and today we have a lot of different components. We have a web front end that runs the website. We have the API server, that's the back end. So after several iterations now, we achieved to separate the front end and the back end. Yeah, like at the beginning, sometimes it was like, we have to get it done. The event is approaching, our big event, and we need this or that feature. So the code wasn't always that clean. And now we achieved to really separate it cleanly. And we have an attendee app on Android. Also, like, actually, I'm personally not using iOS, but it seems like other people are excited to develop on iOS. So yeah, cool, let's get everyone on board, and why not open this iOS universe also up, yeah, as much as possible. So so you can export all your data, and you can generate websites and have an output, and this is a bit an overview. So which components do we have today here? What are the technologies we're using? So on the back end, for example, on the second row here, you see Flask and Python. The front end, we use the Ember.js. Basically, it's always a decision, what are the developers comfortable with, right? And it's pretty standard, but you see we have a lot of goals, and Open Event Website Generator, 90% of goals are reached. The other parts still like, some to-dos here. So how does it look like? I always like to run people through live, but I'm always not sure like how's the internet. So I took some screenshots, but you can go on the website, and it's pretty stable. You can try it out. So when you go to the website, there's a button. You say Create Event, and you have the option to add a name, to add a location. Here, for example, the thing that we have is we're still using Google Docs, so there's an open issue to switch to OpenStreetMap, but you can enter all the basic details of the event, and can get started pretty quickly. Then, of course, ticketing. So ticketing is important for us. We are in Asia. Many people want to buy a community ticket or supporter ticket, so we need the abilities to have different ranges, and that is pretty much the equivalent of what Eventbrite offers these days. I mean, I think not much words needed here. And payment, so payment, we are supporting already PayPal and Stripe. So Stripe is a service for credit cards, and we are looking to implement more and more payment gateways. Also, for example, like, I don't know, here in Belgium what payment gateways you have, in Germany different payment gateways, in India. Okay, so then you click on Save and Proceed, and there's the option to add sponsors. Nowadays, the community has a lot of support from big companies. They're using free and open source software, so you can add these sponsors here in the next step. And in the third step, you can always switch it on and off. You see this button there, switch it on and off. So if you have an event where you don't need any speaker handling, you just switch it off. If you have an event with speaker handling, you can go into detail here, and you can add tracks, you can add micro-locations, so basically rooms, and session types, and you can change the colors then, and how it will show up with your schedule in the end. Then call for speakers is important. It's pretty straightforward as well, but you see here a private link. Why a private link? So sometimes we have people, they're high profile, they miss the deadline of the call for speakers, but we already told them we really want to have them on board, right? So we can send them a private link, and they can still sign up after the deadline is closed. And form registration. So what do you actually want to ask your speakers, or what session details do you want to ask? So you can provide the option here to ask something, and there's in future, of course, would be great to have a form builder here as well. Okay, collect speaker details, and then like, what are the options? Here you can have an overview. So this event that I started here, of course, didn't get any income yet, but like, you will have an overview. You can add discount tickets and so on. For example, for us in Singapore, it's always very important to have discount tickets. We want that the companies pay. Yeah, we want that they pay for the business ticket because we have to pay for the room. We have to do. We have a lot of costs, but we want to give free tickets to the community or to special groups. So this comes in very handy. And then this is something that really saves us a lot of weeks, the scheduler. So after the speakers all applied, filled in the form and so on, we have the scheduler. And in the scheduler then all the unscheduled talks will here be shown on the left. And then you can drag and drop them. So the rooms will show up and you drag and drop them into the room and into the time that you want. So honestly, this really saves a lot of time. And yeah, we were really happy that we were able to get this going. And of course, we can also export this as a PNG or as in other formats. What else do we have? So we have an overview here of the speakers, which talks are accepted, some basic information. You can click on it, edit it. And very important, we have a way to export all the event data. There's an API here that you can use. So, yeah, how do we use it, for example, here? This is an example of a website that was generated based on this data. So how does it work here? You see, you enter your email, you enter some basic information, you add the JSON file or link to the export file, and then you generate a website. It's a bit sped up here so we can keep the time, but this is basically how it works. You can have a dark or a light theme, and you can generate your own website and upload it to GitHub pages, and you have the speakers, you have different options here, different pages that you can say all the links of the sessions and so on. Pretty nice, really nice alternative to sketch.org, yeah, chat.org. I don't know if you have heard this, so many companies using it. The Linux Foundation uses it, for example, but here we have a free and open source alternative. Then, of course, the Android app here. There are some screenshots. You can find it on the Play Store or on F-Droid, and a picture of a recent community event that we had in India. Actually, we are proud to say that most of our developers are from Asia, so it's a real global project, and they're using it here. So what's next? Of course, a lot is left. You need badges, for example, for events. This is something that we're working on. So we started a project Badge Yay. We're always getting excited, so we like to call things Badge Yay or Event Yay. And then we're moving currently to the next version. You can try it out on next.eventyay.com. I talked to you about it. It's the completely like separated API and front end. Automatic deployment. We were using Google Cloud and Kubernetes for a while. Yeah, it's quite expensive if you're not sponsored continuously by Google. So we moved to a much cheaper solution, but still, like the automatic deployment is not working so smoothly. So we're working on that. And more users in the community. So we want more events to use it. We are all free and open source. So let's use it. Get the system stable, less bugs. So we actually need people who tell us what specifically is not working for them, rather than saying something's not working, right? And yeah, finalize the mobile apps, adding cool features. There's always more what we can do. And yeah, here's a call for contribution. We have a FOSDEM internship program. We also run an open source hotel in Vietnam. I think Hong Phuc talked about it like an hour ago quickly. And yeah, we always participate in GSOC. I hope we get in this year. So there are lots of opportunities to collaborate with us. But also when you run an event, you have the possibility to join us. So thank you very much, and let's get started. Join us, for example, here at the next FOSDEM Summit, March 14 to 17, or check out the projects online. And yeah, I could talk for hours if the next speaker doesn't come. So I have a lot, like I could show you like how things work in detail, but like if not, you can come to our booth in K Hall, or you can talk to me directly. That's it. Thank you very much.